Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to At a Time, where a bunch of grown men think that they're fantasy Premier League football experts and talk about it weekly. How's it going?
Years and years of our lives dedicated to this. I tell you what, though, it's like, you know that feeling when you find money in your pocket that you didn't know was there?
Yeah.
That's like this podcast, because you weren't expecting it. We weren't expecting it. It's another game week, all of a sudden, midweek game week, and here we are.
It just happened. It just happened.
With the money in your pocket, you get to hear our voices one more time before Wednesday.
Yeah, it's
Are
a
you
quick one.
anybody ready?
No one's ready. No one's ready. Well, you should have been ready. This is a game week that you should have been planning for. But it's going to be a long week for us. We got two podcasts, one today, one coming on Wednesday, for a preview and a review of game week 15 and 16 coming right at you.
But there's 20 games of soccer.
Can't believe it. I'm tired. I'm tired just thinking about it. I don't even want to know the emotional roller coaster that Chelsea's going to put me on, but we'll move.
Do you want to start with Chelsea?
Yeah, we might as well. It's not an at a time podcast if you don't at least talk about Chelsea. Mike, how can we win and I still feel disappointed?
Because we should have, like, if we were lucky that we won. Like, we were still lucky because our Brighton came back, and at the end, that last 10 minutes, I really thought, this is where Chelsea conceded. We have a 3-3 draw, and we say the boys gave it their best. But how can Chelsea is on another level? I don't understand. Everybody must just forget about them as FPL assets. There are a couple of players that you can target.
Yeah, but then Cole Palmer doesn't even start.
Let's agree that it's not defensive. Right? You don't stay away from Chelsea defenders.
Although,
if there was one
contrary
Chelsea
to popular
defender,
belief, Chelsea's defenders are scoring the goals, so it's a bit of a catch-22.
Well, that's the thing. From a defensive point of view, no. But I was going to talk about Levi Colwill, because if I was going to bring in any defender from the Premier League, now I know he scored this weekend. It was very funny if you saw him. He was about to celebrate, and then he was like, "Oh wait, forgot. I played for these guys last season."
He's like, "Oh."
It was exactly like that. Levi Colwill is very versatile, so you can see him being played in left wing back, left back, centre half, left centre back in a 3. So he's always playing, and the more injuries we have or suspensions, the better that he's going to be.
I only think he loses his place to Chilwell if Chilwell's ever fit enough to come back to Chelsea.
I don't think Chilwell comes back to Chelsea.
Well, I'm glad.
I don't know. I just feel like
I am glad Reece James didn't get injured though. He just missed the game, but at least he's not injured. So I feel
he's back. He comes back and
now he's back against Manchester.
Yeah, it's only one game.
Yeah, because he got second yellow.
Red.
Yeah.
And how's Gallagher
on red cards?
I had some people bring in Gallagher last week. I was like, this is a bad choice because Gallagher is the workhorse who does hard work without as many.
He plays on the line of Sandy North. Like, let's be honest. He is that type of player, which is not bad. It's just a pity. Do you think that second yellow was a second yellow?
I think it was a very harsh second yellow, but if you consider how soft penalties and decisions have been over the last couple of weeks, it makes sense. But at the same time, it's super harsh. But also, this is what Gallagher has to learn. He can keep that in his locker. He can have a good tackle, but once you're already on a yellow card,
you can't do that again.
And an experienced player, that, you're done now.
Yeah. And then
Kante would never have done that.
No.
Kante would have got the first yellow and been calm.
And then just chill and mark and cut lanes, yeah. Were you screaming at your TV for Caicedo to go off, to come off the field? Because I was sure that man was going to get another yellow card. Like, I don't know. I was like, Pochettino, what are you doing? Just take Caicedo off for Palmer, bring on Ugochukwu, or I don't know, just do something. Like, take him off the field. Our discipline's a problem.
Well, that's when you put all of the 15-year-olds in the field. What do you think is going to happen?
No, well, what do you expect? When your most experienced player, other than Thiago Silva, whom the commentators just don't stop saying he's the oldest player in the Premier League. I don't know why. I think they run out of things to say about him. Other than him, the oldest player is 24. So
makes me feel even older.
Well, I'm older than that. How do you think I feel? I'm younger than you. So anyway, little closer and over. Let's talk about fantasy.
If we're talking about Chelsea and fantasy, we did mention the fact that Levi Palmer sat on the bench. Do you think Palmer is a keep for the big fixture coming up this Tuesday? Meaty El Sakiko.
Well, I think so. I don't know what Pochettino was hoping for from Mudryk. Maybe just, I don't know.
He did well. You should have seen that. The one run he made.
Yeah, he's just
and
nervous.
Then he crossed the ball in, and Jackson, as Jackson does,
Bambi
missed the chance.
shall be named. No.
But it was a super good run. I see why he did that, possibly against Brighton, because Brighton we knew was going to be a team that was going to attack us. They weren't going to sit down, so they were going to give us space. And any team that's going to give you space, put Mudryk on.
I think it's partly our own fault as Chelsea fans and Chelsea's own fault as a prestigious club that we have so much expectation of these players, because Mudryk comes in and he's like, okay, he's Hazard. Imagine Hazard never played for Chelsea. Would we still have this view of Mudryk? You know what I mean? Of course, we'd expect him to be good, but I don't think we'd expect him to be the next Eden Hazard. Same with Jackson. It's like, oh, Drogba's my hero. Samuel Eto'o. Oh, it's like, you're not, bro. You're not. Like, if you look, it's Holland. That's class. It's like, are you at that level? No. Are you ever going to get at the level? I don't know. So.
It's not an excuse for them to play poorly in almost every single lad he shot. Anyways, so Man United game.
Okay. On the Chelsea
for fantasy reasons.
Yeah.
Which are the teams?
Do you play Palmer or Sterling? If you bring in a Chelsea? Okay, look, some people have Sterling already. Some people have Palmer already. I think you just play one of them.
My worry is Palmer's main cause was he was on pens. But now with Enzo taking that pen, now you have to wonder, is it a 50-50 chance now that Palmer takes the pen or Enzo takes the pen? And Enzo will play for Chelsea.
Enzo should play a cam. He should just play 10. It doesn't work for him at 8. You might as well play him at 10. Put Palmer on the wide.
We've tried both. We've tried him up front. He looks useless. He tried at the back.
Gallagher's a better cam than a better 10 than Enzo Fernandez at this point.
Gallagher's probably a better goalkeeper than.
You know what though? I think Gallagher being suspended low-key helps our team selection, because I think Gallagher's undroppable, but I also think he's hindering someone else from performing in that role. Like if Gallagher was suspended and Nkunku came back now, then you have Nkunku, Palmer, Sterling. Imagine. Because then you don't need to drop Gallagher because he's suspended. Now, well, see.
And did you, if anybody saw the Newcastle versus United game, United went back to their ways. Garnacho looked like not mini Cristiano Ronaldo, but something else, something a lot weaker.
I want to be Cristiano Ronaldo.
Some weak shots from him. So I told some people online that Garnacho, not the player you want to focus on at Man United.
No.
Onana not having the best game week, but then we pivot to the team that is pumping, because Newcastle put them under the cosh.
Is it time to triple up on Newcastle defense?
Well, you tell us why you didn't go with Trippier for the last 10 weeks.
I will tell you why, and I'll tell you why I've changed my mind. Okay, so I've done a risky thing. So for those of you who don't know, everyone that's above me, I'm 4th now, so I dropped, but I got 60 points, so that's fine. We move on. Everyone that's above me, and at least 4 people below me, Mike's one of them, has Trippier. So it's time. I bring him in. But I also had Lascelles already. But then I had a thought. Remember the old ways when you used to buy 3 defenders or 2 defenders and a goalkeeper from the same team because they would just be pumping out clean sheets? I think it's time. And with Nick Pope out, Dubravka at 3.9, who will start. Something cooking, yeah.
But that's a catch-22 though, because if Nick Pope is out and you got an inexperienced or not as experienced goalkeeper coming in, does that decrease the amount of clean sheets?
Well, Dubravka's good. He just hasn't had minutes. But I think I don't think it will, because I think they're going to defend harder. We'll see. But he's at 3.9. So, and Turner's got dropped. So you might as well swap him for Turner if you have a free transfer. That's what I've made. So I've done a -4, which I'm against, but it's fine. So I've got Trippier in and I've brought Dubravka in. So now I've got a 3.9 defender who's probably going to rise, a 3.9 goalkeeper, versus making 0.1 on Turner, who's going to drop because he lost his place to that new goalkeeper that came in. So I'm telling you right now, I'm having Turner out, Dubravka in. I took out Cash for Trippier. So now I got Trippier, Dubravka, and then I still had Lascelles. So I'm going to do a triple up on Newcastle versus Everton. See what happens.
So the white smoke is coming out of the tower in Rome. Pope is gone.
The Pope is gone.
the fact that Pope's got a shoulder injury means you're right. He's out for a week, and I think that is, even though I tried to counter you, I think that is a brilliant move. And
Thank you.
I think there may be a lot of people around you that might go for that as well. So well played on that.
Thank you. The -4 is it might be a bit greedy, but I needed Trippier, and I didn't want to start Areola against Tottenham because Son, bastard.
Yeah, you had to get Trippier. Look, Trippier, even he got points. He could have got more points. He took a free kick that nearly dipped right under the bar, hit off the crossbar.
Beckham would be proud.
You have to. Trippier is a must-have, and if you look at Newcastle's fixtures over the next couple of weeks, you'll see that they have
great FDR,
Everton, Spurs, Fulham, Luton, Forest.
Yeah, you need him.
A buffet.
If you were like me and you held off on Trippier, I think you have to just cave. I mean, you got 5 games coming up where Newcastle are expected to win. Even the games that are against Man City and Liverpool, I mean, you'd expect Trippier to do something. If he stays
Tell
fit,
me something.
Gets points.
About someone else at Newcastle. Gordon. Because I got on that Gordon train early and I've been benefiting. But he's now yellow because he's got an injury concern on him. Would you take out Gordon or would you leave him to sit?
Okay, so if I've got a free transfer this week, looking at my team, I have Saka, Salah, Palmer, Mbeumo, and Doku. Let's say I had Gordon instead of Doku, because Doku's also yellow. So I had Turner and Areola. I would honestly I'd use the transfer on Turner to Dubravka, and then just bench Gordon.
Or pull a Ollie Watkins and leave him like we both did, unlike all the other managers. we both in the same length. We knew that he's injured.
Of course he's going to start. Of course he's going to start.
Is high, and even if he doesn't start, he comes on, and even if he doesn't come on, I bet you we both had a decent first player on our bench that we were okay with coming in for him.
Well, I had Leskeles on my bench, and he got 7, so I would have been happy with that as well. But yes, so too soon junior to everyone else.
And that's the same thing I feel about Gordon. I feel I'm not taking him out because if I'm playing this game right, I have at least one on my bench who I'm going, yeah, you can start instead of Gordon, and I can wait to see.
The thing is, Gordon's also a type of player. If he comes on for half an hour, you might do something as well. He wants goals, and he needs to keep his place. So,
staying on Newcastle, what do you think about Isak up front?
So I thought about last week to make a move to Isak. I was weighing up between Darwin, Núñez, and Isak. The thing is, he's just Mr. Inconsistent, isn't he? I don't know. It's just he doesn't do it for me. And also Núñez as well. They got the same curse. Because I thought to myself, okay, Isak has a higher ceiling because of the fixtures, but then also it just can't finish. I don't know. So I wouldn't rush to change him. I'd keep Watkins.
You saying Darwin and Isak same? So for me, Isak's better though because he's cheaper.
Yeah, I do think. I changed my mind. I do think Darwin has a higher ceiling for points because it's Liverpool, but Isak's higher priority.
I've watched many games of Liverpool where Darwin tries his best and he seems like a Chelsea player. He's wearing the wrong color.
Oh, we must also say that we might have got the choice a little bit wrong for captain, but Mr. Consistent Salah holds again, gets some points again. What can you say?
Yeah, okay, well, if we're talking about Liverpool, fair enough. There were better options for once I could have captained Watkins. Saka was still in there with points. Both of those are emerging as good captain choices. Even Mbeumo would have been a good captain choice too, as an option. But for me, like Salah was the safest captain choice. And it depends where you are in your game. If I was 100 points, I was 100 points away from you, I'm still captaining Watkins. But if I'm only, I'm now 20 points away from you?
No, it's a long season. We're only 14 games in, heading to 15 weeks. We've still got another, 17 or 18 game weeks left. So
18 podcasts. And and you telling me you're not going to captain Salah against Sheffield?
Nah,
when Sheffield
not
just
a chance.
conceded 5 goals against Burnley?
Our Vincent Kompany.
I would have got so much higher.
Hi, Taylor. I've started Taylor for some reason.
Taylor. I don't know why you started Taylor, but like that move. I do think he's a decent.
You would have caught
former.
me if I didn't do that move because of Trippier for you. Yeah, 100%.
He kept you in the game a little.
I don't know what possessed me to start Taylor. I couldn't tell you, but I just thought to myself, you know what? Anderson hasn't been playing really well, and I know West Ham are going to try and score. So I was like, I'm not going to play Anderson. So it was between Lascelles and Taylor. Then I was like, yo, Lascelles United, I think he will win. But then I was like, Cash is going to play. And then Cash didn't play. So I could have started Lascelles over Cash. But I was like, no, let me just start Taylor and see what happens. And then boom, 10 points. Thanks for coming.
The thing about Taylor is I'm proud of that move you made. But I also think I would actually just bench him now for the rest of the next 5 weeks because they got bad fixtures. I don't think they're likely to keep clean
Taylor's
sheets.
not got bad fixtures. Taylor's got Wolves, Brighton, Everton, and Fulham. So those aren't too bad. But compared to other defenders, I wouldn't start.
Okay.
It's priority.
I don't think those are bad fixtures for Salah. I think those are bad fixtures for Burnley. For a team that's fighting relegation against other teams that are at the bottom with them, I feel like I don't trust Burnley's ability to clean. Yeah. 5 goals from Burnley doesn't make me go, I'm jumping on the Burnley and I'm going to bring in a striker.
You'd hope this gives them momentum and they can keep scoring goals.
If you need a 4 million spot on your bench, go for Taylor.
Yeah.
Speaking about Haaland, he got his 7 points. He again could have had 2 goals. Kudos didn't really do much. Kudos was like turned inside out by Son for that first goal. If you haven't seen the highlights, go watch the highlights of City versus Spurs, and you will see. Like I thought of Son as fast but a little frail or not very strong. He outran Kudos. He outmuscled Kudos.
Wait, Kudos? Who are you talking about?
He outran
Haaland.
No.
Which game are we talking about?
Man City.
And Spurs. So Haaland.
What? No.
Foden.
You might need to cut this.
Doku. I'm leaving this in.
So whatever. He outran Doku. Now you know how strong Doku is. He outran Doku. He outmuscled Doku. You should have seen the definition on Son's thighs as he ran past Doku and he then slotted it in. Now, for me, I was never on your Doku train, and I'm still not on the Doku train.
Nah,
I think Foden...
Fall off the Doku train, it's left the station. It's fine.
Foden is a much better pick in the middle of the park. I even think I would pick Silva ahead of Doku, even though Doku is really, really good. And then there's still Mr. Consistent on top as well, Alvarez.
Well, I'm telling you, I was going to say to you now, I'm not going to take Doku out yet because, for one, Grealish is suspended, which means Doku's going to at least start. And then the other thing is, it's Aston Villa, Luton, Crystal Palace, then the bye, and then Everton, Sheffield. So there's no rush. But I'm going to give him Aston Villa. If he doesn't do anything, he's going out for Gordon.
Do you think that you would have been better off having Alvarez up front and Doku as a cheaper midfielder all this time?
Points was...
Because you only jumped on the Doku train after the haul. So you don't consider the haul. You match up Alvarez against Doku.
6 points for Doku. Then after the haul, who's only gotten 6. Look, Alvarez, so if we consider the haul, he's gotten 12. So he's literally gotten double points.
At a cheaper price?
I was on the Alvarez train. No, Doku's a cheaper price. I was on the Alvarez train at the start of the season. When he went up to 6.6 is when I brought him in. So I did get some points out of him, and then I moved him for Watkins. Because I'm one of the players that had, at the time, I couldn't afford him because I had Haaland, Salah, and Son, and Saka. So I couldn't afford him. And I wanted Watkins over him. So I might revisit the Alvarez thing, but it will only be a January wildcard, I think, because I'm not taking minus points to put him in my team.
Fair enough. And I also don't like the fact that I have this double up with City up front. But it's difficult because the forwards aren't that great this season. We say this every week. And as much as it sounds weird that I have Haaland, Watkins, and Alvarez, they are the top 3 scoring forwards. Underneath him is Solanke, who this guy scored a goal, but he could have had a hat trick.
I told you,
If you
Semenyo.
saw,
I told you, Semenyo.
Semenyo also did
No,
well.
I know.
Both of
That's what
them,
I'm saying. From Bournemouth, yeah.
Semenya and Solanke were really good, but Solanke had a hat trick of chance. He missed 2 tap-ins, but he scored a good goal, a tougher goal that he shouldn't have scored, but he missed 2 tap-ins. So I do think Solanke, if you didn't have enough money and you had a spot up front for 6.5, I think Solanke is a better pick. I think Solanke might be a better pick than Doku, for example.
On the point of hauling points, you asked me a while ago. I'm going to ask you now. Did you feel upset and that you missed out when Son hauled this weekend?
Nope, not at all. Because the thing is with Son, I don't trust Spurs anymore. They dipped in form. I do think Spurs have an attacking threat, and they're plucky. But until Madison comes back, I do not miss Son, because Lo Celso has taken up Madison's position in terms of creativity and output, which is great. But it's not a firm gamble. There's so many better midfielders right now. Gordon is good right now. Saka, Mbuemo, Salah, and I have Palmer, who I don't even feel is really good, but I like him as an option on my bench just in case. And if I was gonna move anybody out, I'm thinking about one player this week. The last 2 weeks has been making me think, is on my mental watch list, and that is the person who I spoke about earlier. I got confused with Doku. Kudu is on fire on that wing. He's involved in the goals. He's warmed up to the Premier League, and I think he's going to hit points this Christmas season.
Kudus hurts me as a Chelsea fan,
because we could have had him.
We were going to sign him. And I still think I'd take Kudus over Cole Palmer as a Chelsea transfer.
He's playing Spurs next, and Spurs' defense is rubbish. Then it's Fulham and Wolves. He's scored 30 points in the last 4 game weeks. Okay? So if you have the space for Kudus, if I had money to get Palmer out and Kudus in, I may do it. I don't have the money for it, but I'm not going to do it. But I think he's one to watch over the next couple of game weeks. You rate Kudus? Could score some points?
I might just take -8 and put him in now.
Look at this guy. Points. Spending points like he's got money.
No, I won't do it now. But he's on 6.7 now, is he? Let me just quickly check. He's still on 6.6, so I could afford him. That's monitoring his price if he goes up or not. I don't think I'll bring him in now. Like I say, it might be a situation on where I think about him at the end of December, because I know that after the Brighton or the Arsenal fixture at the end of December, he's got good fixtures again. So if he can keep his form throughout this next 3 weeks or 4 weeks, maybe I'll play a free hit over the festive season. Who knows?
Yeah, speaking about poor defenses, every team this week, especially on Sunday, were rubbish at defending. Crystal Palace, rubbish at defending. Spurs and City, rubbish at defending. Liverpool won that game by the skin of their teeth 4-3, and it was due to poor defending. Right? Even Villa.
Chelsea also won the game at the skin of their teeth. Poor defending.
Poor defending all round. That's why, for those of you who are new to the game, when you have defenders in your team, don't only consider their clean sheet ability, you consider their attacking returns. Which is why Trippier is a better pick than, let's say, Las Callas. If I know the price is a big difference, but who's more likely to score? Trippier. Who's on free kicks and corners? Trippier. He's going to score more likely because he's got attacking returns. I don't rely on Trippier because he's going to keep a clean sheet.
Yeah.
And that goes for most of my players.
And I think but I do think it's still worthwhile to consider Chelsea, considering after Manchester United, we've got a greens on greens. But we know the start of the season and greens mean nothing for Chelsea. but it's definitely a thing to keep an eye on. And I do believe when Nkunku comes back, he will become a threat, and he will become that elusive third striker option that we were looking for in the Fantasy Premier League world. I have faith.
You like that guy in the relationship where the girl is super abusive and you just keep going, nah, it's worth it, go back. This Chelsea is abusive, don't trust him.
Anyway, I could see this time on the board. The ref is blown. The third official has announced that it's in added time. Ladies and gentlemen, we're in stoppage time.
Which means 10 minutes of waiting for Chelsea to concede a goal. That's what I'm saying.
Well, that's what it was. I wanted to say big shout out to the Premier League and to the officials for plugging our podcast every game week, every game, every weekend. We really appreciate it. Hit us up if you want any favors. We'll talk about your VAR.
Anytime you guys are watching a football game and you hear them say it's added time,
just
know whose time it is. You see our faces. We there.
Such a great name for a podcast. Jeez. It's like perfect. Anyway, let's wrap up by talking about team selections and plans for this week, tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then into the weekend. Well, we can talk about the weekend later, but let's talk about plans heading into the midweek fixture. What are your plans?
And just to reiterate for everyone out there, there's games tomorrow. There's games on Wednesday and there's
deadlines tomorrow night. Tomorrow morning in Canada. Oh, it's like early morning for Canadians, right? No, it's late morning. Don't forget, you Canadians that are playing. I see you. See some of you joining the league. It's not too late to start. It's good practice run, good dry run. So keep it up. Don't forget, deadline
11 a.m.
tomorrow morning. Don't forget. For us normal citizens that live on the other side of the world, Europe, closer to the center, the Greenwich show. It's 8 p.m. UK, 7 p.m. South African. So don't forget. All right. Well, let's talk about teams. What's your thoughts on your midweek fixture? Making a transfer? Yes, no, maybe. Holding? Two transfers
I have
for the
two
weekend?
free transfers. Which
I wonder who told you to do
that. Well, I was going to say to everybody out there who is a bit confused because this midweek game week came out of nowhere for you, if you have built a decent team, you could survive skipping this game week and using the two free transfers
for the weekend
for the next game week, because it's a short turnaround, so you don't feel like you're doing nothing for too long, right? So if you haven't thought about making a transfer for tomorrow, but you already have a decent bench, why not just sit back? Not a amount of injuries, only one injury. Sit back and let things unfold for one more game week.
It's probably the best time to save a transfer.
However, for me, and like for you, you had some urgent things you needed to do, so you're taking a hit. For me, I don't have urgent issues, but whenever I have two free transfers, I end up taking negatives just because I want to have many wild cards every 3 weeks.
Yeah, so you do 3 transfers for 4 points. But if you think about the whole, it's not bad. So.
I don't have many problems. I don't think Anderson is worth keeping anymore, so I might go for a better defender. And if I was looking at defenders...
Who's on your watch list?
I think that you called it when you said double up on or triple up on Newcastle. So if I wanted to, I could go for Las Calas, but Burn is coming back. Just be careful. Okay. The other thing is that Arsenal seem to be in good form, but they don't seem to be keeping clean sheets. So even though they you can't pinpoint which defender.
Yeah, it's hard because like 2 weeks ago I was thinking let me bring in Gabriel, and then he got points, and I was like damn, and then he didn't get points. So I'm like okay, so it's a bit of a tricky one.
Actually, it's a tough season.
You have to look at attacking defenders. You have to look at attacking defenders.
Well, then we talk about Trent Alexander-Arnold, who all of a sudden has been reborn, and he scored 13, 8, and 7 points in the last 3 game weeks.
I think he stole Haaland's upgrade. I don't know what happened there.
He's looking on fire, but who can afford 8 million at the back? Go to bed. I don't have time for 8 million at the back.
Brother,
so
I don't care how fire you are. The fact, like, it is tough because it's 28 points. I know. Imagine a team with Trent and Trippier. You can't have Salah. It's like...
Oh, I don't know. Maybe like England.
England got banged. Yeah. Look, it's one. Maybe if you don't have Trippier,
taking a punt on Alex.
See, I had to bring in Trippier. So my position is very particular. Just because I'm trying to win my mini league. I'm not going to win the world and win the trip to the UK for 7 days. I'll do that when I get to the UK anyway. But I need to win our mini league, and by doing that, I need to match some people. And everyone has Trippier, so I had to get on that bandwagon. But Trent Alexander-Arnold for 1 million isn't much of a difference to Trippier. I mean, worth something to consider if he's magically found his form. And they've got good fixtures. So
yeah, they got Sheffield up next. What I'm saying to you is I don't think Liverpool with this thing going to keep clean sheets, but it's going to get attacking returns. But if you're going to choose between the two, who's more likely to keep a clean sheet? Trippier, right?
Yeah. But also, I would go Tsimikas over Trent anyway. So
yeah, so we got a cheaper way into the Liverpool defense with some attacking returns. Midfield wise, if I was going to replace Gordon or Palmer, I don't know.
Probably Kudus. Hey?
Kudus
to that decision.
And then for forward line, I always think every week I say, enough Alvarez. And then
Alvarez does something for you to keep him on your team.
Yeah.
He's the goal that you shouldn't be going back to. But look, hold the Alvarez. Just mark my words. On the 4th of December, 2023, Game Week 15 podcasts, Nkunku will return shortly and become the third striker. And teams will switch to a 3-4-3. I think so.
You're not wrong. I think holding Alvarez is good. But I have this feeling that Watkins is my one out. And here's why. And we're going to end with this because we only got about 3 minutes left before the referee kicks us off the field here. Watkins was lucky, okay? He could have scored more goals, but he was lucky. We were lucky that we had him in our front three, but he was injured, or front two, and he came on. We were lucky, right? Mm-hmm. Did we ride our luck out now, and it's time to cash out with Watkins? Because he's playing City and Arsenal, Brentford, Sheffield United. Those are at least 4 tough games, I would say, out of 5 coming up for Watkins. But the question remains, is there a better forward than Watkins over the next couple of weeks to get more points? I don't have a midfielder in this option. I need a forward. We talk about Solanke, we talk about Darwin, we talk about Isak. Those are the 3 options.
Malpe starting to surface some form. But is he consistent?
So I would say I'm going to maybe hold my team, maybe make 1 transfer. Maybe someone educated me on this podcast about Turner to Dubravka. So I might...
I don't like talking on this podcast anymore. I give you too many ideas.
Yeah, that was a super good one, though.
Guys, good. I'm actually so smart. I just don't have the team to show for it. Let me restart my season. I don't know.
Don't listen to Nate. He's playing 4D chess. He's baiting me to Dubravka because he knows something else.
My last closing comment is I just want to say, based on your forward dilemma, is that in reality, who is playing anyone else other than Watkins and Haaland? So it's not like you're losing points that much, you know? So
I'm keeping pace with you.
Yeah, so I wouldn't really worry about Alvarez right now. I would wait for Nkunku, though. Like I say. Bad girlfriend
but Isak's got green. I'm telling you now, you're gonna wake up to me taking Watkins out for Isak.
Okay, now keep this in mind. You have to choose Isak or Dubravka because you can't have more than 3 Newcastle players in your team, and you already got Gordon and Trippier.
Educated.
Yes.
I got things to think about and I don't have time. And we're out of time anyways.
Well, you got the whole day to think about it, to make your transfers ready for tomorrow morning's game week. Thank you guys so much for listening, watching, viewing, and subscribing. We'll catch you on Wednesday for another episode, Game Week 16, Episode 16. Thank you so much. Take care. Cheers and goodbye.